From believing that she was pregnant for more than 2 years, to obsessing over someone who doesn't even know her, and then claiming she's pregnant by him, Timber Bowman is one of the rarest cases on the internet of how deep delusion can look. Timber is a 22-year-old TikToker who recently went extremely viral, gaining millions of views for her disturbing obsession with a guy named Dylan Sperry, who basically doesn't know Timber. Timber would then claim that she and Dylan are married and refer to him as her husband. She even changed her last name to his, and refers to her main TikTok account as Timber Sperry. Despite this, Dylan has his own family and a 5-year-old daughter, but shockingly enough, Timber would claim that she was a mermaid in her previous life, and basically implanted Dylan's daughter into his wife's womb, which means Dylan's child is actually hers.
Yes, I do know that she is not my biological child. Yes, I am totally okay with that, but I'm never going to put it into her face that she's not my biological child.
After all of this went mega viral on TikTok, Dylan made a response video debunking everything Timber claimed and stating how scared he is for his life, and that he is going to take legal action against Timber. However, this didn't faze Timber at all. Instead, she completely ignored everything Dylan said, and only focused on the purple flower behind him, taking it as a subtle sign of him showing his love for her.
Anyways, so I just felt the need to say something. Is the fact that that flower in Dylan's video is literally for me.
And while this whole situation is extremely disturbing, the Timber rabbit hole goes much deeper and darker. But before all of that, let's set some context and see what her life looked like before becoming infamous on TikTok. There's not much out there about Timber's childhood except for Timber's own storytelling, which should be taken with a grain of salt since Timber has been proven over time to lie about many things to fit her own version of reality. Timber's mother and Timber's father divorced when Timber was a child. Timber's mother, whose real name is Danielle, then married another man named Gerald, whom Timber later accused of multiple heinous acts, including assaulting her when she was 5 or 6 years old. Timber also claimed that her mother was involved in these and accused her directly in her videos. Although there is no way to prove all of these accusations against her mother, given Timber's history of lying about things, her mom actually has a history of criminal charges. Over the years, she was accused and found guilty of more than 6 charges, which makes it possible that Timber may have had a very difficult childhood, potentially contributing to her current mental health problems. Timber started making content on TikTok around the end of 2024, and her content was very normal at first. She was posting random lip sync videos and reacting to other people's videos. But soon enough, Timber's social media presence began to become chaotic. On one of her Facebook accounts, Timber was arguing with another person, and then called that person a racial slur in a way that was very disrespectful. "I will slap that N-word in the face in public, like don't tell me what to do. I can act ghetto if she wants to." Despite being fully white, Timber would also present herself as black and lie about her identity, but this is one of the least serious issues surrounding Timber on social media. Soon after she started posting on TikTok, there were several extremely unsettling moments that showed Timber's disturbing side. In her long-form videos, Timber would often claim that some kind of ghost was interacting with her in real time and trying to hurt her. She would become visibly scared even though there was no one and nothing visibly present in the house. In one such video, Timber was acting very strangely and fearfully, claiming that a ghost was trying to hurt her in the house. She even pointed to the TV's reflection as proof that the ghost was present, but the problem is that there was nothing there to see.
There is something touching me. Like actually something touching me. There is actually something touching me. When I look into the reflection of the TV, I can see a ghost. Like it's touching me, like it's
In another instance, Timber made a similar disturbing video in which she appeared frightened and acted very strangely while claiming that a ghost was trying to attack her. She then added context, claiming that this ghost used to attack her and, in her own words, assault her when she was only 5 or 6 years old. She referred to this ghost as the Unknown Man, which would later become a very infamous term within the Timber universe.
But basically, when I was a kid, I used to have this person that would come to my bedroom, and I was like 5 or 6 years old, and this is like right around the time, and he is actually touching me right here, and I know it's a male because I'm actually shapeshifted into a male figure right now. Like that's how I know that it's actually a male, not a female.
Timber also claims that she sees the face of this ghost as if it were a literal person. According to her, it is a white male, and even more bizarrely, he supposedly has a fade haircut.
I can't really tell what kind of hair he has. It looks more kind of like short. Like a fade-ish kind of a haircut.
While Timber claims that these videos prove she is not being delusional, and that what she calls a spirit attack is actually happening to her, there was nothing for the audience to see in the footage. She claimed that the ghost was attacking her from behind and hitting one of her arms to the point that she could not move it. The problem was that she appeared completely fine, and was moving both of her arms equally.
Like, this one is easy. It goes like, blah, 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 blah. This one is like I can do it, but it's still like, something is like holding on to me, like right here. Where basically makes it like harder for it to move. Like, it's like a forceful feeling. Like when I go to move it, it's like a forceful feeling, like right here. Like people will touch me, like back here, right here, all right.
On another occasion, she made a video claiming that there was a fingerprint on her mirror and concluded that it belonged to the ghost. However, the problem was that no fingerprint was visible on the mirror. Furthermore, since Timber was living in a group home and had roommates, the supposed fingerprint could have belonged to one of them. Timber did not even wait to ask her roommate about it. Instead, she rushed to make a very disturbing video about the situation.
One more thing not to mention is not only was this whole entire room clean before I got here, but I just looked through the footage and you can actually tell, like if I was able to zoom in, you could actually tell, but in like a certain angle, there's actually a handprint right there on that mirror. It's like on that side right here. Well, right here. Technically it's right there by the dream catcher.
And if this wasn't bad enough already, things would become much more disturbing once Timber started expressing her obsession with a guy named Dylan. It all started in 2023, when Timber was in jail and claimed to have dreamed about a man with a beard and tattoos whose name started with the letter D and who was also in a band. Timber then claimed that her spiritual guides had told her that she was going to marry this man. The person she is talking about is named Dylan Sperry, who also happened to be in a small band called Yote. Timber believes that the last 3 songs Dylan made are secretly about her.
Reason, call me delusional or whatever, but his last 3 songs on his album, I swear to God, like for some reason I actually think they are about me.
After she posted these videos and went viral, with one video alone gaining more than 5 million views, people started digging into the story and found out that Timber didn't actually discover Dylan through her dreams as she claimed. Instead, Dylan was an employee at the living facility where Timber lived. She allegedly overheard him talking about his band with another person, and then became fixated on him afterward. Despite claiming that she saw him in a vision in 2023, Timber actually met Dylan in September 2025. Interestingly, even though she was posting constantly on TikTok during this period, Timber never posted about Dylan until 4 or 5 months later. According to her, the reason was that she didn't want people to know about her feelings for Dylan because she didn't want them bringing up her past.
And then I promised myself, I was like, honestly, I'm not even gonna take my love for this guy onto social media because I didn't want people bringing up my past from 2, 3, 4 years ago of, oh, well, you stalked this person, so now we think you're doing it to this person. You know what I mean? So I kept my love for him away from social media.
However, in early 2026, she decided to post about it on TikTok, and her reasoning was as bizarre as it gets. She said that she wanted to go viral because people would become interested in her stalking behavior.
I honestly feel like I do want to put my love out for him on social media, because I was like, maybe if I do, I'll actually like blow up, and other people will actually like see their music. So that was really the only reason why I ever actually decided to really talk about my love for this guy, is because I kind of wanted it to just be a little stalkerish.
But the problem is that Timber wasn't a little stalkerish, as she described herself. Rather, she was fully invested and delusional from the very beginning. Even while Dylan was working at the living facility, Timber became so obsessed with him and so fixated on his social media accounts that he eventually blocked her. While this is a very clear sign that he wanted no contact with her, Timber would twist it into evidence that he was simply trying to keep their interactions a secret, even though there was nothing between them. Dylan's role at the living facility also included helping residents with day-to-day activities such as grocery shopping, buying necessities, and other tasks, since many of the residents had special needs. videos. As part of his job, Dylan also helped Timber with things she needed. However, Timber would use these interactions in order to fuel her delusions that he was in love with her. On one occasion, they went grocery shopping together, and Timber later claimed that she felt genuine love during that outing and sensed a strong connection between them.
He takes me to Hy-Vee. We do grocery shopping. It's just me and him, like one-on-one. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I actually think that this is the guy. Like, I actually really think that this is the guy. Like, my heart just felt, like, so loved. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it, like, the connection was just there.
From then on, Timber started fully believing that the two were dating and that Dylan loved her very much, referring to him as her husband almost every time she made a video about him. But the problem wasn't just that Dylan had absolutely no clue about this so-called relationship. He also has a wife and a child. Even worse, Timber started making extremely bizarre claims, saying that she was a mermaid in a past life, and had somehow placed Dylan's baby inside his wife's womb, meaning that Dylan's daughter was actually hers.
I technically helped create our child, our 4-year-old daughter, together. Yes, I do know that she is not my biological child. Yes, I am totally okay with that, but I'm never going to put it into her face that she's not my biological child.
Timber's so serious about this quote-unquote relationship that she even uses the last name Sperry on TikTok. In fact, it has become more infamous on TikTok than her actual last name, Bowman. And if this wasn't bad enough already, Timber then started claiming that she was pregnant with Dylan's child. But just like everything else, this was another claim with no evidence behind it. Eventually, after Timber went viral on TikTok for her obsession with Dylan, Dylan and his band Yote started getting flooded with questions about Timber. The situation escalated to the point that one of the band's bassists responded under a video saying, "I am the bass player. Our vocalist is having a bit of a stalker problem, as you can all see. It's progressively gotten worse over time, and honestly, it has gotten pretty concerning lately. We have no idea what to do about it aside from just blocking her." This showed just how serious the situation had become. It gets even worse for Dylan because Timber has mentioned his daughter, who is only 4 or 5 years old, multiple times. Even more disturbing, Timber appears to know some of the things the child likes, raising questions about how far her fixation has gone. After mounting pressure and growing public attention, Dylan eventually came forward on TikTok and posted a response video addressing the situation.
Hello, I'm Dylan. I'm okay. Thank you for all of your concern and your support during this. And thank you to everyone who reached out to make sure that I was okay and that I wasn't in any danger. Apologize if I didn't answer your message. I've been very overwhelmed over the past 48 hours trying to manage this situation. I have to be very careful about what I say to protect myself legally. I was a life skills specialist or a direct support professional for a company working with people with special needs. And this person was a client to this company. This person, I believe, overheard a conversation I was having with one of her roommates discussing rock and roll music and talking about my band, and found my band, and through that links to my Facebook and my social media accounts, and kind of ran with it.
Dylan also made it clear that he intended to take legal action against Timber.
On a personal note, if you see anything regarding my daughter, if you see anything deemed as a threat, I would greatly appreciate it if you would record that video or save it or send it to my band's page. So that way we can save it and I can continue building a file so that I may protect myself.
Despite this, Dylan asked his audience and everyone involved to avoid contacting Timber and to stop reacting to her videos. However, the internet did not listen, largely because of how Timber responded to Dylan's video. After Dylan's video gained more than 1 million views on TikTok, Timber posted a response. Bizarrely enough, she completely ignored everything he said and instead claimed that the flower in the background of his video was a subtle sign that he loved her.
Anyways, so I just felt the need to say something. Is the fact that that flower in Dylan's video is literally for me.
Throughout the video, Timber continued referring to Dylan as my man and her husband while crying and expressing how much she loved and missed him.
But anyways, look how fine my man is. Like, the sun just shining on his face. His eyes are so freaking cute. Like, honestly, I always wished that I had those color eyes.
Despite her complete delusion and refusal to acknowledge reality, there was one moment in the video where Timber briefly seemed to realize that Dylan might actually sue her and potentially have her jailed. However, she quickly fell back into her delusions, claiming that if he put her in jail, it would also be a sign of his love, because he would bail her out the next day.
I can't take myself serious, because I'm, like, really thinking, like, whole time, what if he really does put me in jail, though? Like, I know it would only be for a day. Like, he would put me in jail just to bail me out. Stop playing. Stop playing.
While the situation involving Timber was disturbing and serious from the very beginning, many people initially did not take it very seriously. Most of the comments either fed into her delusions or treated the situation as a joke. However, after her response to Dylan, many viewers became genuinely concerned and began to understand the seriousness of what was happening. One person commented, "Just came to see what the tea was and now I am scared." Another said, "As a psychology major, there were so many red flags in here and so many things that need to be talked about with a mental health professional." But Timber's delusions would only get worse from there. Soon enough, she started claiming that she and Dylan were going to get married on June 30th, 2026. As ridiculous as it sounds, Timber appeared completely serious. She even made a 10-minute video inviting her audience to the wedding and explaining what kinds of food would be served.
I wanted to come on here and make another wedding announcement. You guys agreed, well, we all agreed that we would prefer for you guys to bring food instead of gifts. Like a potluck, almost like a big giant cookout. But when you guys bring food, make sure that you label everything.
Timber then proceeded to make another video about Dylan based entirely on a scenario she appeared to create in her own mind. She claimed that Dylan had forgotten his vape on a couch in the room where she lived, and that she viewed it as a special gift from him. She then described Dylan becoming upset because he believed she had stolen his vape. The entire story was extremely confusing and difficult to follow.
So make sure that you tag my husband, Dylan Sperry, up into this, because you mother... I'm sick and freaking tired of you, honestly, because what do you mean you're the vape lost in the couch cushion? I can't find it. Honey, I never stole your vape. I never stole your vape. But anyways, since it was for me, I am so happy that you've left a little hidden gem for me in the couch that you somehow can't find. Oh yeah, by the way, I know who has that vape, by the way. So if you really want to know who has that vape, you can DM me. I will tell you who has the vape.
But somehow it gets even worse. Dylan is not the first person to be the target of this level of fixation. Timber has reportedly gone to jail multiple times for stalking and harassing other people as well, and one of the most notable and disturbing cases involved a man named Cody. Timber's account of what happened with Cody is extremely confusing, and much of it does not fit together coherently. There is a great deal of complexity and contradiction within the story, but I have tried to break it down as clearly as possible. According to Timber's account, Cody and she grew up in the same area and attended the same school, meaning they supposedly knew each other from childhood. In her version of events, Timber explains that Cody had a crush on her and would often ask her to hang out with him. She even claims that he went as far as having his mother ask Timber on his behalf while they were in the 3rd or 4th grade.
I'll start with elementary school. So this dude keep on hitting me up, messaging me, messaging my mom, being like, can Timber be my girlfriend?
However, the details don't really add up. Timber claims that Cody's mother approached her one day and asked her to give Cody her Kylie Jenner lip gloss. The problem is that Kylie Jenner's lip gloss line was launched in 2016, which was years after the timeline Timber was describing.
By the way, back when I was in the elementary grade, that's what I was going to say is his mom literally begged me to give him my lipstick. That my favorite Kirsten lipstick that I got from Kylie Jenner. Okay. Like, Kylie Jenner literally sent that to me in the mail.
Later, Timber's story would be further challenged when Cody stated that he didn't know Timber at all until they met in 2021 through a mutual friend. Cody wrote, "So basically, I first met her after an old buddy of mine came home from the military. Me and Taz went to see him at his home, and she was there with my military friend's brother." However, what does appear to be true is that Cody's mother worked as a paraprofessional, helping students with disabilities. Timber claimed that Cody's mother once told her a prophecy that she would have with Cody in 2023 and become pregnant with twins. However, there is still no way to determine whether this was another scenario created in Timber's mind or something that actually happened.
Giving me like the spiritual reading, like, oh, in the future, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and then goes, you're gonna get pregnant, and then you're gonna have a miscarriage with that kid, and then you're gonna my son, and then you're gonna get pregnant with twins, and you're around July of 2023, and then told me that my water would break March 3rd of 2024, which my water broke March 3rd, 2024.
Timber then made it clear that Cody was constantly asking her to hang out and sleep with him, to the point where she felt very uncomfortable. Eventually, according to Timber, she decided to sleep with Cody. The problem with this story is that Cody is openly gay and was also in a relationship with a boyfriend at the time, whom he was actively in love with, making Timber's story highly unlikely. Timber attempted to explain this by claiming that Cody wanted to know what it was like to be with a woman and experience it for himself.
July 18th, 2023, me and this dude link, okay, because he is messaging me, asking me, we should hang out, can we? Like, it's the only thing that he's ever asked me my whole entire life, can we have? And I'm like, dude, like, the only thing you like me for is for my but okay, you know what? I will play into your delusions, I'll play into your game, I will do it, okay?
According to Timber, she and Cody had in July 2023. Prior to this, she allegedly warned Cody to use a condom because she was extremely fertile. Timber also described the experience as boring and underwhelming, claiming that she had to pretend she was enjoying it for the sake of Cody's feelings.
I wasn't feeling for anything there. And I was like, oh.
Despite claiming that a condom was used, Timber later said that she realized she was pregnant with Cody's twins about a month after they hooked up. This is where the situation allegedly became much uglier. During this entire period, Cody was still in a relationship with his boyfriend and wanted nothing to do with Timber. He blocked her on everything. Timber then began contacting Cody's boyfriend in an attempt to get in touch with Cody and started telling him that she was pregnant with Cody's children. According to Timber, this left the boyfriend confused because Cody was gay. In that same month, August, when she claimed she was pregnant, Timber was briefly admitted to a mental hospital. She alleged that while there, she miscarried one of the twins in a hospital toilet.
I had the miscarriage with one of my twins inside of my body. And I felt scared.
This is where the story becomes even more bizarre. Throughout this entire period, Cody remained in a relationship with his boyfriend, while Timber allegedly continued trying to contact him. After Cody blocked her phone number and social media accounts, Timber allegedly began contacting his boyfriend in an attempt to reach him, again claiming that she was pregnant with Cody's child. According to her story, Cody's boyfriend did not believe her and eventually stopped responding altogether. However, this only seemed to make Timber more desperate. She allegedly began going to Cody's house, and at one point she claimed that she entered the house while he was not there. The home belonged to Cody's mother, who reportedly has sleep apnea. According to Cody, she was asleep and unaware while this occurred. Cody later stated that discovering this made him furious, leading him to contact the police. I figured out she had been going to my house when I wasn't there, and my mom has sleep apnea, so she was out cold in her room while this transpired. Once I figured this out, I made a police report and everything. I spoke with an officer who had arrested her previously and knew of her, but he ended up saying he couldn't do anything unless she was there. I made my report anyway because I was pissed off. Meanwhile, the months continued to pass during Timber's supposed pregnancy. On March 3rd, 2024, she claimed that her water had broken. Ironically, this was the exact same day as the date from Cody's mother's alleged prophecy. However, Timber never gave birth because it appears there was no pregnancy in the first place. Timber never went to a hospital to confirm that she was pregnant, and the pregnancy test she took did not come back positive either. Timber claimed that the reason the tests were negative was because she had low hormone levels, an explanation that does not align with how pregnancy tests are generally intended to work. As time went on, nothing actually happened. There was no childbirth, no miscarriage, and no evidence of an ongoing pregnancy. Months continued to pass, and the pregnancy appeared to exist only in Timber's mind. Eventually, July arrived, and Timber was already 5 months overdue. At that point, it had been more than a year since she first claimed to be pregnant. Despite this, Timber remained completely convinced that she was carrying Cody's child and continued trying to contact him. Then around July 14th, Timber allegedly went to Cody's house once again. This time, however, Cody called the police, and Timber was arrested. The police then questioned Timber about whether she was pregnant, and she said that she was. However, once again, the pregnancy test did not come back positive. She also did not appear to be pregnant, despite claiming that she had been pregnant for more than a year at that point, which, to say the least, does not make sense. Timber then claimed that the police officers attacked her for no reason. However, the story itself is very confusing, because she initially said that the police and then later described it as a vision, making it difficult to determine what she was actually claiming had happened.
So that night, my baby's heart beat while I was in jail. So thank you. If you don't want to believe me, don't believe me. I don't give a but if you're spiritual, you should know the truth.
Apparently, Cody has come forward multiple times and denied having any kind of relationship or significant interaction with Timber, beyond brief encounters. He has also denied any involvement in the supposed pregnancy. However, even after claiming that the baby inside her, Timber continues to insist that she is pregnant. She's even asked for donations to help pay for a C-section. While all of this was unfolding on TikTok, Timber was still living in a mental health facility and continued to have access to social media and her phone, leading many people to question whether those privileges should be restricted. More recently, however, she appears to have lost access to her main account, the one where she had been gaining thousands of followers every day. She stopped posting there and later created a new account, although it has not received nearly the same level of attention. While it has become increasingly common over the past few years to see people develop unhealthy obsessions with celebrities and public figures, Timber's story stands out as one of the more extreme cases. It is a situation that appears to involve possible serious mental health issues that many believe should have been addressed long before she went viral on the internet.
Hi everyone, I'm here to address about my past actions. Yes, I did say inappropriate things to kids. Yes, I did say the N-word. Yes, I was homophobic. And I was a to my dog, which I won't happen again. And you guys don't have to forgive me for this, but I am truly sorry. Okay, I'm truly sorry for everything that I've done. I really am sorry.
Sierra Green is an American internet personality who found her audience in one of the internet's most narrow corners, the furry and therian communities. She first caught people's attention by posting videos of herself doing quadrubics, running and jumping on all fours, wearing masks and animal ears, fully committed to the bit. For a while it worked. Millions of views, a growing fan base, a unique corner of the internet that was all hers. But behind the masks and the fursuits was something a lot darker. Because Sierra Green is not just an eccentric girl living out her animal identity online, she is a manipulative adult who repeatedly targeted minors and then blamed her disabilities every single time she got caught. This is the story of how Sierra Green became the furry community's most embarrassing export. Sierra Green's path to internet fame did not start on TikTok. It actually began years earlier on Musical.ly, the short-form app that eventually got absorbed into TikTok, where she posted the same kind of content she still makes today. Dancing, lip-syncing, furry persona videos, and skits that made absolutely no sense to anyone watching. When Musical.ly shut down, and its users migrated to TikTok, Sierra followed, building a following that would eventually climb to nearly 300,000 at its peak, which, for context, is a number most creators would genuinely which makes what she did with that platform all the more difficult to excuse. A lot of those viewers were not there to celebrate her, they were there to laugh at her. But views are views, and Sierra was eating up every second of the attention without seeming to notice or care about the distinction. She would post videos of herself doing furry-themed dances, running around in a dinosaur mask she called her raptor persona, wearing her homemade pink and green cardboard ears, and making content with a distinctly unhinged quality that was hard to describe but impossible to look away from. Her videos often featured poorly timed lip syncs, choreographed dances that seemed to have no particular logic, and editing choices that served no clear purpose but somehow made the whole thing even more watchable, prompting viewers to genuinely question whether what they were seeing was real. She also talked about herself and the things she was dealing with in her personal life. She shared that she was autistic and that she had been born with fetal alcohol syndrome, a permanent condition caused by alcohol exposure in the womb that can affect behavior, social skills, and emotional regulation in significant ways. The fetal alcohol syndrome is a condition that occurs when a developing fetus is exposed to alcohol at any time during pregnancy. Alcohol used during pregnancy can interfere with brain and central nervous system development. This can cause lifelong physical, mental, emotional, and behavioral differences. She also came out as asexual and said she was proud of that identity, which endeared her to some corners of the internet and put her at direct odds with others, as we will get to very shortly. Some people could genuinely relate to parts of her story, and that relatability made them engage with her content more than they might otherwise, even if much of that engagement was ironic. She also had strong musical ambitions, regularly dropping original songs and covers. These range from genuinely catchy in an accidental kind of way to deeply surreal, including what can only be described as a sincere and enthusiastic McDonald's rap that somehow found a small audience. One of her other recurring obsessions was a pair of homemade cardboard ears she had constructed herself using pink and green materials, which she wore as part of her furry persona. They were, to be entirely clear, 2 pieces of painted cardboard. She treated them like they were the Mona Lisa. People had actually reached out to her asking to buy the ears, which she refused every time. Then someone made their own version of the same design, and Sierra responded with a video that would become one of her most widely shared clips.
You might be wondering why I'm pretty pissed off right now. Let me show you. Yeah. When I say my ears aren't for sale, I didn't mean just go and make your own ears. Guys, you're stealing my design. Stop it. Like, what is wrong with you? You cannot steal no one else's ears that they made. You're stealing my idea. And you can't do that. You can't just go around and do that. That's just not right. I made those ears with my own hands. My own 2 hands. And you think it's okay to steal them? No, it is not okay. What is wrong with you? I mean, if you want to make your own ears, use a different color. Not my colors. That's stealing. That's totally stealing. Stealing. You can't do that. What's wrong with you people?
When someone in the comments suggested the ears were made of paper, she responded by tapping on them on camera and saying, "Does that sound like paper to you?" "No, cardboard. Get it right."
Made of paper? Does this sound like paper to you? Does that sound like paper to you? No. Cardboard. Get it right.
The irony that made this clip go viral was that around the same time, a creator came forward, pointing out that Sierra had been using artwork someone else had drawn as her profile picture across multiple fan pages without crediting the artist. She had taken someone else's art, removed their signature, and used it as her own, then complained publicly about someone copying 2 pieces of pink and green cardboard.
Please just take a minute out of your time. This is honestly really important. It's about art theft. So basically, I'm assuming you all know who Sierra is, right? I made this video kind of mocking her, and my videos usually get like 200 views. I did not expect this to blow up the way it did, but it did, and she got real mad at me. So she basically took this drawing I made, cropped my signature out of it, and told all her fan pages to change their profile picture to this. So now there's an army of like 50 accounts with my drawing as their profile picture without me being credited. So I just would like her to apologize to me. So if you don't mind, can you please, for the love of God, tag her in the comments? I really, really, really want to get a reply to this. And yeah, that's all I really want to say. So thanks for taking the time out of your day to listen to this. And yeah, bye.
After the original artist demanded an apology, Sierra's response was to claim she had assumed everyone would know it was not her drawing. Moreover, to her, the caption in the comments already showed that she did not steal the art.
I even put in the comments, if you think I'm stealing, look at the caption. But guess what? If people would rather not look at the caption and be stupid about it.
These early controversies built to a community of dedicated hate watchers around her. It was clear she was a hypocrite at that point, and because of that, she now had dedicated people who tracked her every post, cataloged her statements, and created their own accounts to respond to her. Then came the N-word controversy, which happened during a lip-sync to a DMX song. Sierra mouthed a racial slur with what observers described as genuine enthusiasm. This made people assume that perhaps she was a latent racist. Her response was not an apology. Her response was that she was surprised anyone could think she was racist just because she lip-synced the lyrics of a song as it was. She then did the exact same thing 2 more times in subsequent videos, which transformed mild frustration into genuine outrage, and significantly expanded the number of people following her story with hostile intent. The Discord she tried to launch for her fans during this period was overrun within hours by raiders and trolls who flooded it with hostile content. She failed entirely to moderate it and eventually blamed a friend for setting up the server in the first place, claiming the friend had tricked her into joining a hate cult.
Okay, how do I put this? Okay, so this friend of mine helped me set up a Discord account, and I thought she would help me get my fans to actually start liking me more, but turns out I was scammed. I was used. She let me join a hate cult. All of that was for hate. She wanted me to be in a hate cult. I thought she was a nice person and, you know, try to help me out, but instead she didn't. She pushed it way too far and let me join a hate cult, and that's when all of this happened. And now there was a fake account saying that I said the N-word and everything else, which it wasn't. It wasn't me, it was a fake account. I was set up. It's fake. I was set up. I didn't do it. I would never do nothing like that. I mean, I don't know why she did it, but I don't know. God, I've never been upset like this in my life. Oh my God. But yeah, I was set up. I was. No
By mid-2021, her main TikTok account was suspended, with no official explanation now beyond a notice stating it had been banned for multiple community guidelines violations. Given the volume of content she had posted across so many categories of problematic behavior, it was genuinely impossible to identify a single cause. What followed was something that almost no one anticipated. Reports began circulating that Sierra had died. The story spread fast enough that actual websites picked it up and ran articles about it. Tributes flooded in from people who had watched her content. It was so widespread that some TikTok content creators had to conduct investigations into whether or not she was dead.
I'm sure some of you guys have seen this girl come up on your For You page. She's a TikToker by the name iSierra. Recently there's been speculations that she's dead. Multiple websites have reported this, but the report is unconfirmed. This rumor started circulating after all Sierra's social media was deactivated in late May. Now, I'm not quite sure if Sierra's TikTok was banned or if she deleted it herself.
She was, of course, not dead. She eventually confirmed this by returning to social media, which probably came as a relief to some people and a disappointment to others. She resumed posting on backup accounts, using new usernames. During this period without a stable TikTok presence, she focused more on YouTube, where she posted music, shorts, and content that was largely indistinguishable from what she had been doing before. The account had a different name, but the content was exactly the same. She carved out a real presence in the furry and Therian communities during this stretch, positioning herself as a kind of figurehead, an older and more experienced voice that younger, impressionable fans could look up to. And that last part, the older, more experienced voice that younger fans looked up to, matters more than anything else in this story, because the moment she had that kind of influence, everything that came next was already possible. Before the more serious allegations came to light, Sierra was already a documented disaster in her online relationships. Her first real-life relationship had been with a man named Jesse, whom she had dated in person starting in 2014. According to Jesse, they had met as freshmen in high school and built a genuine connection.
In high school, then me and her were both freshmen, you know, we just moved. Then at lunch, I remember one time I was sitting by myself, you know, then Sarah decided to sit with me. Then later on in class at hospice, then we started working together in hospice for a little while.
That relationship continued, but did not last long after Sierra, out of nowhere, entered the internet brotherhood era. She replaced Jesse with different boyfriends she called brothers. Her first notable internet brother was a man named Ryan, whom she described as someone she had deep feelings for going back years. When Sierra went on a live stream and made comments about not supporting the LGBTQ community, Ryan, who was bisexual, blocked her and moved on.
So, back in 2016, I have met a guy named Ryan. He was a sweet, kind gentleman. He seemed to like me a lot. Yeah, like really like me. I met him way back before TikTok even exists. Me and him got a good time together. Until one day, something bad really happened that I didn't mean to do. So I was going live streaming, and then a person asked me if I didn't really support LGBTQ people. And then, I said yes. And now everyone was starting to go mad crazy over it. After the live stream, I decided to make a video about why I don't support LGBTQ. So after I got my video done, I tagged Ryan in so he could help me out, not to avoid me. Yeah, he avoided me. He blocked me and everything. Like, really? He was my everything and I really loved him very much. I honestly didn't know he was bisexual.
She then tried to save face by making a video where she was dancing to a song with the lyrics, "It's okay to be gay." She blamed this on her friend, but people were not having any of that. They simply saw it as a way to avoid being accountable. After all, as we would later come to see, one of her predominant characteristics was to avoid taking the blame. Imagine being homophobic and racist and blame your friends. Rather than accepting the end of the friendship, she responded with a series of public summoning videos, literally setting up candles with black and white filters and dramatic music, and posting herself asking Ryan to come back, referring to him as her brother and telling viewers how much she still loved him. She said things like, "Brother Ryan, I need you wherever you are. I hope you see this and know I still love you so much." Then she made a roleplay video in which she imagined the conversation they would have if he came back, playing both sides herself, which might be the loneliest piece of content ever posted on TikTok. This prompted people to tell her to stop harassing the poor guy. One of the comments says, "Stop harassing him. He don't love you. Leave him alone. He is not your brother." These went on for weeks. Ryan never came back, which honestly was the correct decision. When Ryan did not return, Sierra found a replacement almost immediately. Sammy stumbled across one of her live streams where she was visibly upset about losing Ryan and made the mistake of offering to be her new internet brother out of kindness. He had no idea what he had just gotten himself into. What followed was 2 full years of non-stop pinging, tagging, and messaging, which Sammy eventually documented publicly. He described being contacted almost daily, weekly, and monthly for 2 years, and said that every time he tried to set a boundary, she responded with one of 2 deflections. She either said she just wanted to express her love, or she blamed her disability for why she could not stop.
I'll tell you, but it's going to be one heck of a train ride, so here we go. So 2 years ago, I found this person, Sierra, on TikTok on the For You page, and so I joined her live stream. And I noticed she was a little bit sad considering the fact that her old internet brother, Ryan, blocked her because she didn't support LGBTQ, which I was unaware of at the time because I didn't know that was the reason that he blocked her. So then I decided to step in and propose to be her new internet brother. Little did I know that was a mistake. Because ever since she accepted me as her internet brother, she has done nothing but ping me non-stop, almost daily to weekly to monthly, for 2 years. So I kindly asked her to stop pinging me so much. And she would always bring up a bunch of excuses, like how much she wants to express her love, and saying that her disability was the problem, even though it wasn't. To basically make a long story short, I want to move on from this, but she still doesn't.
The most high profile of all the internet brother situations was Gregory, also known as Mitterman the Puppet Man. Gregory was an autistic man in his early 20s who made puppet content with a character named Stan. His sister later described him as operating at roughly a 5-year-old cognitive level. He was gentle and happy, and wanted nothing more than to make puppet videos in peace. Sierra found Gregory's account and became fixated on both him and his puppet simultaneously. She started duetting his videos, commenting on everything he posted, and building a public narrative that the two of them were in a relationship, even though Gregory had made no such agreement. In one of the more memorable moments of this saga, she posted a video announcing that she was in a romantic relationship with Stan the Puppet, calling him her secret lover, and warning viewers never to call him stupid.
Of course I love him. He's the cutest puppet in the world. Somebody who loves me. Yes, I love him too. I'm his favorite, and he's my favorite.
She then began posting boyfriend check videos directed at Gregory, making Valentine's Day demands of a man who had never agreed to date her, and releasing a detailed account of how their love story had developed, which basically was that it was the puppet that caught her eyes before she developed any feelings for Gregory.
Story about how I met my boyfriend Gregory. We sort of met back in 2019, maybe, I don't know. And as I was doing my own thing, I got a notification from him that he tagged me in a video that he wanted me to do it with. I didn't see him at first, I saw his puppet Stan. And I thought, hey, he's pretty cute, so I decided to do it to him instead. Then he started tagging me in a couple of more videos, and we started doing it there. That's when I saw his face for the first time, and he's so adorable. He's sweet, kind, and very happy all the time. I was like so nervous around him. I'm not even joking. After we started talking, we got along and decided to become best friends. And let me tell you, I fell in love with him real quick, like really quick. I was so shy to tell him. After I broke up with my ex, I decided to tell him a few days after. I was like real nervous to tell him. I'm running out of time, but if you'd like to see what happens, like for part 2.
But Gregory soon got tired of her constant need for attention.
Give me some attention!
And so they started having some issues.
What's up with you?
You've been home for an hour and a half. Not even once. Not one time have you tried to cuddle me, and it's pissing me the fuck off. I want my cuddles.
At this point, Gregory was tired of the whole relationship, as the whole perverted relationship did not work for him anymore. So he made a video telling her to move on.
I know you don't want me to leave, but it's time to move on.
Sierra did not seem to understand this, as she instead even craved more attention. Gregory then tried to gently address the situation by commenting on one of her videos, asking if they could just be friends. She responded by telling him no, and immediately asking him for more attention instead.
Okay, babe, I have a question for you. Since you've been doing all these TikTok videos, can you please give me attention, please?
She also admitted in a video that she was jealous of his fan base, saying directly, "They give you all the attention. They always comment on your videos, and what do I get? Nothing. None of my fans say anything nice to me, or anything. That's why I'm jealous." The fallout was that her audience, made up largely of hate watchers at this point, began flooding Gregory's social media with hundreds of hateful comments. They went from his TikTok to his Facebook, and Gregory, who had no experience with this kind of online attention and no particular resilience to it, was left in tears. Gregory's twin sister, Andrea, made a video that day demanding that the trolls leave her brother alone and explaining that his brain functioned at approximately a 5-year-old level.
This is gonna get pretty graphic because I am so sick and tired of it. It started on TikTok and now it's going on Facebook. I just came home from running a few errands and my brother comes down the steps. I'm shaking right now. And he's like, "Do you remember the photo I posted on Facebook that I made of the Count from Sesame Street?" Now, mind you, we're twins, we're 22, but his brain, just to get people to understand, if you're but his brain is still at a 5-year-old level. So he still watches Sesame Street, he still watches Barney, he still watches kiddie shows. It's okay. It's okay. So he comes down and shows me a picture, and he told me he's getting 309 comments to be exact, all on the picture. I don't know who the these people are, but if you're gonna hate on someone, hate on me!
Sierra's response to all of this was a silent video with on-screen text saying she had always loved Gregory, that she had been a true friend to him, that she would keep him in her heart forever, and that people could hate her all they wanted. She said almost nothing about the actual harm her obsession had caused him or his family. He may not be my brother, but I love him anyway. I was there for him. I did everything for him because I care. Since it seemed like whole real people relationship thing was not working for her, Sierra tried out having a relationship with fictional characters or just people that she liked but had no idea who she was. This was the period she became deeply invested in the fictional character Robbie Rotten from the children's show Lazy Town, a villain played by the late Stefan Karl Stephenson. Her fixation on Robbie went well beyond typical fan behavior. She created a 3-part series called Broken Friendship, where she and Robbie were best friends. He betrayed her, she fell into a coma, he sat at her bedside, and she eventually died and became an angel watching over him forever. She also began cosplaying as Stephanie, the child protagonist of the same show, and positioned herself as Stephanie's roommate in the universe she was building. This would later help people make sense of one of her most controversial episodes involving minors. Around this period, she also made use of her video editing skills to begin a relationship with her favorite Jacksepticeye.
It just means that they don't make me laugh like Jack does. Now Sean, he's a good-looking guy, talks Irish, he is Irish actually, a good sense of humor, really hype energy, and also a kind, loving heart. Yes, I know Mark and Ethan and PewDiePie have kind, loving hearts too, but still, no one is better than this guy right here.
She would then go ahead to make many videos of them together on YouTube, ranging from singing together or just vibing to a song.
Let's have some fun! This beat is sick! I want to take a ride on your big daddy!
Every falling out was loud, public, and messy. TikTok live streams became battlegrounds. Accusations of betrayal flew in every direction. The drama didn't just follow Sierra, she manufactured it. And her audience, much of it young and impressionable, watched every episode play out in real time. OMG, isn't this the girl who made her stepbrother date her in like 2021, one of them says. It even got to a point people started to think maybe she had once had a thing with her brother. Some guy said to me that this girl forced her brother to date her. Is this true? The brother cycle and her fictional relationships were the part of her story that made people laugh. But what was being built underneath it was something nobody would be laughing about. And this is where the story stops being funny. Over the years, multiple screenshots and Discord logs surfaced suggesting that Sierra had engaged in inappropriate, suggestive conversations with minors, and the details that eventually emerged were far worse than anyone who had been following the brother cycle drama had expected.
I love little girls, they make me feel so good.
The first public hint that something darker was happening came in a song Sierra uploaded to YouTube titled, I'm Not a I'm Missing My Boyfriend. The song was ostensibly about missing Gregory after their falling out, but it contained a line that no one had asked for and no one could forget. That she had just been being nice to a 15-year-old, and that was why people were calling her something she was not.
I'm missing my boyfriend. He's always something. But he broke up with me ever since my friends told I'm a pig. I'm missing my boyfriend. He's always something. But my friends told him to stay away from me. Even though I don't look like a pig, that means
The fuller picture did not emerge until late 2024, when the account manager running her TikTok posted a message that locked Sierra out and explained why. The post stated that several people had come forward with reliable proof that Sierra had been interacting with minors inappropriately despite having an 18+ account, and that while the investigation was still ongoing, the inappropriate nature of the interactions was already confirmed. Just wanted to come on here and let you know that Sierra has been locked out of the account and will no longer have access to the TikTok due to recent allegations. While we are still investigating these messages, it's 100% confirmed that she has interacted with minors in an inappropriate manner. All investigations regarding this situation will be handled privately. Around this period, many videos surfaced online of Sierra interacting with minors. There's a 3-minute video released on TikTok where Sierra seemed to be convincing minors that it was okay to cancel someone. And even when they told her they weren't in support, she doubled down.
rumors, like everywhere, ever since 2020, so.
What kind of rumors?
I don't want to go down that path, but. Well,
The fact that she was keeping malice with teenagers seemed to shock the people on the call with her. They even had to double check if the subject of her anger wasn't teenagers.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean you made a few mistakes, though?
They're gonna regret it.
What?
What do you mean? They're gonna regret it ever doing that.
What are you gonna do to them?
Nothing. I'm just saying they're gonna regret it. They're gonna come crawling right back to me. I mean, yeah, they're saying that I need to grow up. They're the one that need to grow up.
Aren't they, like, teenagers, though?
Yeah, and aren't you 27? So you're literally a grown-up. Like, how can you grow up more?
Then she said she preferred to have younger friends, and basically only had one adult friend.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm already grown. And they're over here, they're also telling me, oh, you shouldn't be hanging out with teenagers anyway. Like, I have one adult friend on Discord, and that's... I get it. I need more adult friends, but I can't trust everybody.
Believe me. You'd think she was speaking with grown-up, or even speaking about grown-ups, but she wasn't. But that wasn't as mind-blowing as what followed next after she said she couldn't trust anybody. She was then asked if she preferred a demographic younger than teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh, so do you like children more than adults for friends? Like, do you think you get along better with children more than adults? Like teenagers?
Honestly, I thought teenagers would be more cooler, and honestly, I don't know, but honestly, I don't know what got me to, become friends with teens, because of, I don't know,
Yeah.
but the point is, they shouldn't be treating me like that.
Then in June 2025, a YouTube channel run by someone identifying as Luca posted a video titled I Sierra the Furry, The Truth, and the full picture came into focus. The video featured testimony from two siblings, Luca and his sister Elizabeth, who were both minors when Sierra first made contact with them. They were 16 at the time of filming. They described how Sierra had been finding young people on platforms like Omegle and funneling them into her Discord server, which was populated almost entirely by minors. She would position herself as a mother figure in that server, telling children she could be their mom and creating a dynamic where they owed her loyalty and compliance in exchange for her attention and care. The mother's framing made the manipulation harder to identify for the children involved, because it felt like protection rather than exploitation. She would typically log into Omegle to get minors whom she would then encourage to join her Discord. Elizabeth described how the mom role was used to create a situation where she had to do whatever Sierra wanted or be considered a bad daughter. Some of their Discord chats go like this. Remember what? I was your mom. Mothers can be bad people. I helped took care of you. That was roleplay. You have done nothing for me, but use me for venting, Sierra. You don't even try to change or help the people around you. No, I haven't. Luca equally described Sierra's behavior towards him shifted from the maternal framing into something explicitly romantic, asking him to roleplay as her fictional interest Robbie Rotten and beginning to refer to him as her boyfriend to other people.
Everyone, my name is Luca and I'm a victim of Sierra.
Oh, I'm Elizabeth. I am another victim of Sierra's. We've both known her since we were 13, and she has done nothing but use us for her own personal needs.
She would also ask Luca to roleplay with him, telling him he looks kind of like Robbie already and wouldn't mind dating you. When her boyfriend breaks up with her, well, I mean, you're kind of like Robbie already, so I wouldn't mind dating you. Maybe when my BF and me break up, you're kind of cute for a kid anyway. Their conversation would become overly with Luca already giving his heart to someone who was almost twice his age. Even Sierra all but revealed that she was in a relationship with him. It's about this guy I dated, turns out he is 16, but I'm not like that, so I wanted to dump him without hurting him, and I told him we should wait till he's old enough. It also wasn't surprising that they were exchanging affectionate messages at this point. She had managed to make him see her what she wanted. The documentation also confirmed that Sierra had entered into what she described as a romantic relationship with a 15 or 16-year-old, and that when confronted about it, she said she'd broken up with him after 5 days, and that her friend had told her she could date him when he turned 17. A 26-year-old waiting for 16-year-old to turn 18 is gross. I'm 22 and I'd never do that. My friend said I can date him when he's 17. Her behavior in the Discord also extended to exposing minors to deeply inappropriate conversations about violence, discussing the murders of real children in graphic terms within a server full of minors, and then calling the children in the server hard-hearted when they expressed discomfort with the content she was sharing. Nicholas, her then boyfriend, was also documented in the same server as taking on a paternal role while making possessive and inappropriate comments toward the minors. Then, because they had been so deep into the father, mother, sons, and daughters roleplay, Lizzie felt it was right to come out to them telling as a lesbian. But Nicholas' response was shocking, suggesting he could do something inappropriate just to prove she was not gay. He said, "Lizzie, you're not lesbian. I can change you." All of these these pieces of evidence were not something anyone could overlook. The furry and Therian communities that had already been growing uncomfortable with her behavior blacklisted her entirely after this video. The community she'd spent years trying to be accepted by wanted nothing to do with her, and said so loudly. No criminal charges were confirmed at the time of this script, but Luca's video stated that the victims had been in contact with law enforcement. But a problem still stands. Sierra seemed to blame anyone and anything but herself. The problem with Sierra Green was not just what she did, it was what she did every single time she was caught. She would immediately transform into a victim and redirect attention toward everything except her own behavior. It did not matter whether the confrontation was about allegations, homophobic comments, racist lip syncings, obsessive stalking of internet brothers, or repeated platform bans. Her first move was always identical: deflect, minimize, perform grief, and wait for the attention to move on. Sierra has publicly shared that she was diagnosed with autism and fetal alcohol syndrome, and while those are real conditions that deserve genuine compassion, she weaponized them systematically. Every controversy became bullying a disabled person. Every ban became evidence of persecution. Every piece of compiled evidence became the work of trolls who did not understand her. When the allegations of being inappropriate with minors were levied against her, she went on TikTok to make a video on what she had done to a girl with the caption, "This is what you want to hear, right?"
I love little girls, they make me feel so good.
When Sammy came forward to document 2 years of Sierra being too excessive to the point of harassment, she explained that her disability made it hard for her to stop. Sammy addressed this directly in his video, saying that she had always used her disability as an excuse, but that it was not actually the problem.
So I kindly asked her to stop pinging me so much. And she would always bring up a bunch of excuses, like how much she wants to express her love and saying that her disability was the problem even though it wasn't. To basically make a long story short, I want to move on from this, but she still doesn't.
This is why some people have held strong positions on her victimhood, just like how this person says autism is not an excuse to be a bad person. Say it with me, guys. Autism's not an excuse. Also, when Gregory's sister made her video defending her brother, Sierra responded with a performance of grief, saying she loved Gregory, she had been a true friend, and she would keep him in her heart forever. She said almost nothing about the harm her obsessive behavior had caused him. Also, remember when a creator posted a video pointing out that she had used their artwork without credit after screaming publicly about someone copying her cardboard ears? She claimed she assumed everyone would know the art was not hers, which is a difficult argument to sustain when you had removed the original artist's signature before posting it.
I even put in the comments, if you think I'm stealing, look at the caption. But guess what? If people would rather not look at the caption and be stupid about it.
But when the hate comments became overwhelming and the allegations became impossible to dodge, she released a video where she said she had done inappropriate things to children, said the N-word, been homophobic, and her dog. She said she was truly sorry. It was framed as a genuine moment of reckoning.
Hi everyone, I'm here to address about my past actions. Yes, I did say inappropriate things to kids. Yes, I did say the N-word. Yes, I was homophobic. And I was to my dog, which I won't happen again. And you guys don't have to forgive me for this, but I am truly sorry. Okay, I'm truly sorry for everything that I've done. I really am sorry.
The next day, secretly recorded in a Discord call she did not know was being captured, she said, "I mean, I understand. I made a few mistakes. I understand that, but like, come on, it's not that big of a deal."
I mean, I understand. I mean, I made a few mistakes. I understand that, but like, come on, it's not that big of a deal.
The day after the public apology, she also posted a new video where she sang lyrics from a well-known song that, given the timing, could not have landed worse, and captioned it, "Is this what you wanted to hear?" with laughing emojis, making it as clear as possible that the apology had been performance and nothing more. What made this pattern especially damaging was the community watching it play out. Many of her followers were young, embedded in fandom and role-play cultures with their own complex social dynamics, watching an adult model the behavior of someone who could do whatever she wanted and face no lasting consequences. The platform she used also failed consistently. TikTok would ban her account, sometimes citing multiple violations, and she would simply create a new one. The new account would gain followers. It would eventually get banned again. The cycle repeated so many times that her most dedicated followers had to check her comment sections regularly just to find the current username. At one point, she used an AI-generated voice claiming to be her sister to try to manage one of her accounts in a way that would not be flagged.
Hi everyone, this is Sierra's sister speaking. I helped Sierra run the account and whatnot, but I just wanted to pop in and say a quick thank you to like the recent support she's been getting.
Nobody was fooled by this gimmick. Ciara Green's current internet presence looks exactly like what you would expect from someone who has spent years learning that consequences are temporary and attention is forever. She continues to create new accounts regularly, cycling through backups and alts after her primary accounts get banned for violations of child safety and civility guidelines. The bans keep coming. The accounts keep appearing. Her delusional relationship with Robbie still continues, with Robbie having to defend himself against allegations that he cheated on Ciara. Someone who recently worked with her also claimed that she told him she was pregnant. He fueled the delusions and says he suspected the pregnancy was Robbie's.
Okay, so I have sort of a confession to make. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I used to be a moderator for a Lolcast TikTok account. Her name is iSierra. She is trending again on TikTok. I'm gonna be completely honest, I had no idea about all of her allegations and stuff. I was simply just talking to her, and then she's like, do you want to be a mod? And I was like, yeah, that's okay. And eventually, she started going all crazy and stuff. And, she started saying that she was pregnant with, Robbie Rotten's baby. If anyone doesn't know, Robbie Rotten is, her Yumi ship. She was, the OG Yumi shipper. And, I remember her, telling me, the story on how she found out she was pregnant and stuff, and I thought it was really weird. But, yeah, I just wanted to come to say that because I've got nobody to talk to about this. But I can pull up a message while I'm editing this. But yeah, I just needed to tell somebody. Gizmo out.
After the Luca video dropped in June 2025 and began circulating widely, Ciara went quiet on most platforms, which was unusual for someone who had spent nearly a decade posting daily, regardless of what was happening around her, and even saying everyone else was a hater. The accounts that popped up in her name after the Luca video were met with open and immediate hostility. In one live stream she attempted after returning, a viewer typed directly into the chat calling her out for what she had done to minors and telling her to stop talking. A parody account was set up impersonating Robbie Rotten, specifically to mock her in light of the allegations against her. The fact that people were setting up parody accounts of a children's TV villain to go after a nearly 30-year-old woman says a lot about where her reputation had landed by this point. She also lost her mother during this period, which she announced in a video that was notably more subdued and sincere than most of her content, describing her mother as someone she was proud of for living a good long life.
Hi guys, Ciara Green here. I'm gonna give you an update of why I haven't posted on YouTube for a long time. See, the reason is, a few days back, my mom died of an pneumonia. Not my real mom, but the one that took care of me. She died of an pneumonia. She chose to she chose to be dead.
Following that loss, she announced she had moved out of her previous home and into a temporary apartment, posting a house tour that showed most of her possessions in trash bags and her collection of merchandise from her favorite shows still prominently displayed. But the damage had already been done. The broader furry community wants nothing to do with her. The Therian niche she still occasionally tries to occupy is smaller and more isolated than ever. Her current audience is primarily people watching and waiting for the next meltdown, which is a far less forgiving crowd than the ironic fans who once made up her following. What is clear is that Ciara Green spent years building a persona designed to make people underestimate her. The cardboard ears and the dinosaur mask and the earnest obsession with Robbie Rotten all added up to a picture of someone who is too chaotic and too naive to be genuinely threatening. That was always the most dangerous thing about her. She would regularly hold her position as an adult over young people and use this to take advantage of them. Ciara Green is not a misunderstood eccentric. She is not a disabled woman being bullied by the internet. She is an adult who deliberately cultivated the influence over minors, used chaos and manipulation to maintain control over the people around her, and spent years hiding behind her diagnoses whenever she was held accountable. The online communities she spent years trying to be a part of have moved on. The people she targeted have not had that option. And somewhere out there, Ciara Green is almost certainly building another account. Ciara Green is not a misunderstood eccentric. She is not a disabled woman being bullied by the internet. She is an adult who deliberately cultivated influence over minors, used chaos and manipulation to maintain control over the people around her, and spent years hiding behind her diagnoses whenever she was held accountable.
That's what happens because I'm too big nowadays. I have to go outside the way. This is my love.
Meet Tismala Hood Legend, or if you prefer his real name, Terrell Earl. Over roughly a year and a half, this man from the Bronx turned daily eating videos into a TikTok phenomenon.
Every day we eat good. McDonald's. Quench my thirst.
He's the TikTok god of gluttony, next to the likes of Jay Boolin, another assistant god of gluttony.
Go ahead, touch your toes, baby. Pop it on them hoes, baby. Say they fucking with us, I doubt that, boy.
But the difference between both men is that Tismala has a strange and depressive twist to his food addiction. Tismala hates finishing his food because he'd be wanting to go back in time to relive the moment. But at the same time, he sees his death coming. He's a hazard to himself, yet he never stops eating in titanium.
Every day we eat good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sandwiches. Tismala.
Check his YouTube channels, where he has less than 5,000 subscribers combined, or his TikTok with his over 175,000 followers. You'll get the gist of what he's all about. Tismala gobbles food with no turning back. It's as if his life literally depends on it. And the fun fact is, his life really does.
How I wipe nowadays, because my butt is too big. So to get clean, I would have to lay down on the floor and lay down on my side, get the tissue, and wipe from the side when I'm laying on the floor.
Is it all for content, or is this him being his very authentic self? Honestly, the lines are very blurry.
I'm not gonna lie, God has to be on my side, because I nearly just pooed in my pants. You know what I'm saying?
Tismala centered his everyday content around food, and when he could have made the most out of it by earning cool cash for his content, he blew everything up in his own face. Tismala burned bridges with multiple content creators by demanding outrageous sums of money for collaborations, and there are more questionable decisions this guy has made on his own side of the internet.
We were going to pay you a couple $100 just to do a Discord segment, and the first thing that you said is you need $14,000. The only $14,000 that you see daily is the amount of calories you consume. You lucky we didn't offer you honey buns and insulin shots.
Tismala had made headlines for ending up homeless after a dispute with his own brother over food.
So the weirdo named Anthony Earl, my so-called brother, he took off the handle on the front door. What he's implying is as if he's trying to keep me in a dungeon. As if he won't get murdered in here.
He called the police on himself, claiming he had committed a homicide.
So I just called in the cops for the homicide of Gary Earl. Let them know that I did it. Tismala, y'all.
He also recorded himself dancing inside a psychiatric facility, and through all these life-changing ordeals, he just kept posting online. Tismala Hood legend is a case of a man losing himself to food in the presence of an audience.
Choji. You said what?
Tis, what is your favorite anime, Tis?
Buckle up and make sure you're not eating because you're about to download the full story of one of the internet's strangest characters. Tismala, or Terrell Earl, grew up on Allerton Avenue in the Bronx, New York, and by his own accounts he was somebody in that neighborhood. But from the way he speaks about this time of his life, it's almost as if he's trying to fit into the hood structure, like in this clip where he's seen smoking and talking nonsense about life in Allerton.
There's stuff you don't hear about, for real. Cause niggas be like, yo bro, what's the most dangerous hoods? But niggas be going to the most quote-on dangerous hoods. Niggas never pulled up to Allerton, the most notary. Feel me? So
it's obvious he was high at that point, but being high doesn't automatically make you a hood legend. If anything, it just makes the hood image look like a costume, and an image he's forcing himself to maintain.
if I'm truly me, there's nothing human about me, bro. I'm a different nigga, bro. Gangster, and when I say I'm a different nigga, y'all niggas consider yourself niggas. Y'all niggas wanna call yourself niggas and shit, bro.
The way he spoke about his time in the Bronx was so similar to the way someone might speak about a past life. In one video, he described a confrontation from his high school years where a group of guys approached him not knowing who he was, and his response was to set them straight by calling himself the Big Jack nigga.
I'm walking across the street from the basketball court near the supermarket in Edenwald, near the KFC or whatever, the Kennedys, the chicken spot and all that, and I'm walking across the street for me, and they facing me, and I'm facing them, but I turn around like this, cause they don't know crazy, you know what I'm saying? For me, but you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it was like, yo, I said, nah, I'm the Big Jack.
Tismala believed this was a powerful statement, as if it was supposed to drop Jaws and part C's. But after all the big talk, nothing happened afterwards. Nobody ran or bowed at him, and it makes you wonder what the point of the story was.
Because I don't remember no more how it went. For me, to not live, and like, niggas ain't touched me, gang, you know what I'm saying?
The whole situation just paints him as an attention seeker with a main character syndrome, only that the main character is someone tough from the streets. However, nothing about Tismala reflects the person that he was boasting to be online. Tismala attended Broome Community College in New York, and you can find this information on his Facebook page, along with some other posts like references to the hood, sappy self-motivational quotes, thoughts about women, and other self-glazing uploads like this one where he shared throwback photos of himself with the caption, "Went from get your ugly potato ass out of here," to "Come here, daddy." He also shared rap content in some cases, amplifying his image as a hood figure from the Bronx.
Hey yo, I got some bars for this, man. I said, you ever heard don't bite the hand that feeds you? Now when niggas out, they act like they never need you. See a nigga down and act like niggas is see-through. But this is when I cut niggas off. I never need you. Self-made nigga, I expect you too many handouts. Niggas watch you starve, look down on you with your hand out.
It wasn't an alarming content by any stretch. The man hadn't yet discovered that his stomach could double as a content strategy. The chronic grunting, the titanium appetite, the spiritual relationship with Wendy's, none of that had manifested yet. Tismala was just a young guy on Facebook being young, but the shift would eventually come when he set foot on TikTok. Before that time, Tismala was an average hustler. In July 2018, he made a Facebook post talking about how he wished to become a truck driver, thinking about getting my CDL license and becoming a truck driver. This thought eventually manifested for him, and for a stretch of several years, he held a commercial driver's license and worked as a trucker. This was a job that, done consistently, generates real income. As of the first quarter of 2026, it's estimated to pay over $28 per hour and an annual income of $58,700. And this wasn't even the only job he had going for himself. After trucking, Tismala briefly drove for Uber Eats, where he paid a weekly fee to rent one of their vehicles. And before all of that, he worked at Applebee's. This was Tismala before the shenanigans took over. He had a work history, a skill set, and at various points the potential to have a functional adult life. What he did not have, apparently, was the ability to hold any of that together for long, and as we'll come to understand it as we progress, the reasons for that unraveling were complicated. Somehow, it was rooted in mental health, isolation, and a relationship with food that had stopped being ordinary long before he ever put it on camera. The end of the trucking career came in two stages. The first was a speeding incident that Tismala himself captured on video. In the clip, he was sitting in his truck while a police officer spoke to him through the window. Tears streamed down his face as the ordeal unfolded.
I got nothing to lose.
He explained to the camera, and apparently to himself, that he had been driving at what he believed was an appropriate speed while passing officers on the side of the road, not realizing that he was required to slow down further when law enforcement was present on the roadway.
I just got pulled over. I was subject to arrest. They said that they could have gotten hurt, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like I didn't see them. But the law is the law.
It's not entirely clear whether this incident directly cost him his job as a trucker, or simply marked the beginning of the end, but Tismala himself described the experience as something that changed him fundamentally. In subsequent videos, he would say that he died when the incident happened and use other dramatic illustrations to express how utterly devastating the situation was for him.
I died when that happened. I don't have the same stamina.
This negative language would become a recurring and increasingly strange feature of his online presence. He used it to describe losing his ambition, or even something like a sleep paralysis episode that felt like burning.
That happened to me, and a burning sensation within my body started happening, and that burning sensation was hotter than fire, like a lighter on your skin, man.
He also used it to describe leaving the streets of the Bronx and to express what his father had done to him. The second stage of his exit from trucking came when he simply announced that he was done. In a video posted in late July of 2024, he told his followers that he couldn't maintain it for much longer.
And yeah, this is my last week working. I can't work no more. I can't do it. Trucking is exhausting. It's just too much at this point. I can't handle it.
But he pivoted almost immediately to talk about going on disability and focusing on his TikTok. Tismala would later claim in a separate video that voices in his head had played a role in his decision to stop driving. These voices had allegedly told him it was unsafe to continue. This was the first, and notably, one of the very few times he ever mentioned voices, which made it difficult to assess how seriously to take it. His friend Tismala later told a police dispatcher that Tismala had been diagnosed with schizophrenia. Is this true or not? We have no definite answer for it. In his Uber Eats job, Tismala also did a good job floundering his chances. expenses. He had actually used the Uber rental as a mobile dining experience. He would stop after nearly every ride to purchase food from whatever fast food restaurant was nearby, except to Jamaican spots, McDonald's, Wendy's, whatever was available. Then he would eat in the car between pickups.
Imagine if I didn't have Uber car. What would I do? I would be begging.
The income from Ubering was going almost directly back into food, and the weekly rental fee for the car was an additional expense on top of that, making the whole arrangement financially questionable at best. Recently, Tismala has been giving a new explanation for not working. In his words, he is disabled, with a mental illness, and is physically unable to work.
I don't know how much time I gotta keep saying this. I am disabled. I have a mental illness. Also, I'm physically unable to work. I have arthritis in my lower back.
But as we've seen from his unhealthy marriage to food, no one is the cause of his predicament other than himself. How did it ever evolve to such a stage? What enabled this? Some valuable answers stem from Tismala's own roots.
Grow up normal in no type of way you are. And y'all could tell.
You see, Tismala's family situation was something he returned to constantly in his videos, and he always had something new to say each time. From an early period, he already established that his parents weren't his favorite people on earth. In a Facebook post, Tismala claimed that they weren't there for him when he needed them. My moms and pops wasn't there for me at my worst, so sorry if I act like I don't need nobody. And in yet another post, he blamed his mother for him being useless. I'm so fucking useless, I don't even use my body parts, thanks mom. Then another video in August 2025, he claimed that his family were devil worshippers who had used him as a pawn, but he was so powerful that nothing could work and they couldn't break him.
So growing up, man, I already told y'all niggas what it is though. But for me, both of the sides of my family worship the devil. You know what I'm saying? They used me as a pawn, but guess what? I'm so dedicated and deployed that they can't do nothing with me, you heard?
Tismala also lumped his grandmother in the mix, saying that she always told him he was wrong as a way to tame him and, in his words, get him inside her.
My grandmother used to tell me that I'm too free. My unquote grandmother, she used to tell me that I'm too free. Like what I was doing was wrong. Like she want me inside her or something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't fail. You know what I'm saying? Cause what type of stuff is that? Like she deserved me, you know what I'm saying? Those type of thing, you know what I'm saying? From a fine, handsome, black, intelligent, dangerous person, you know what I'm saying?
But this situation with his late grandmother would also shed light on one confusing aspect about Tismala. You see, in the years between 2016 and 2020, Tismala often posted warm-hearted messages about his grandmother. I will never forget my grandma. Instead of telling people about our problems and blabbering about when we do them bad to other people, she took us all in and dealt with our problems, and as a family hashtag, real love. If it's not that, I don't want it. Happy Mother's Day. To my ma who birthed me to this world, my grandma that took care of me since I was little, and my grandma that's not here no more, love I miss and love you lots. In another post, he described how painful it was that his grandma was passing away, and in another one, he stated that he would gladly give up millions of dollars if he could save his grandma. Throughout most of his Facebook posts, he spoke fondly of the elderly woman. However, by the time he was posting on TikTok, the grandmother who had been the center of his emotional world had been recast entirely. She was no longer an angel worth mentioning every 5 minutes. She had turned into a devil worshiper. In another video, she had maltreated him when he was a child. Tismala recounted a time when she put a toilet plunger on him, and this made him sad.
Because she know who I am, so she would do stuff like take, you know, the plunger, dip it in the toilet, and put it on me while I was showering. This is when I was growing up.
Tismala also claimed that she had enslaved him. He said this while lumping her in a group with his mother, who according to him was a white woman.
The woman that supposedly birthed me.
It's unclear what his definition of slavery is. Was he calling child discipline slavery? Because it's unlikely that he experienced such a traumatic experience from the hands of the same women he kept commending online for years in the past. If you watch the video till the end, you'll see that Tismala truly might not be a valuable source of information. After grouping his grandmother and mother with a list of family members he held responsible for the condition of his life, he went on to ask people to send him money. And here's the crazy part. Tismala added that anyone who was not sending him money via Cash App was essentially aligned with his oppressors.
You send me money or you just like them, I ain't gonna lie. Word. Cause if you're not supporting me, you with them. You know what I'm saying?
you're a slave owner, and you can get boomed any time of the day.
This art of begging is a pattern Tismala started to display on his social media accounts. He would use a sob story, maybe in an attempt to gain sympathy, and then ask for free money. There's name-calling involved for anyone who refuses to comply, and Tismala boldly writes it out in the captions. Here are some examples. If you don't send him money, you're as good as a and in this clip he posted on Christmas Day in 2025, he claimed he didn't have a family and his life is just sad.
I'm not gonna lie, I just woke up. Merry Christmas, y'all. So I'm gonna put my cash out. If anybody decides that they want to send me some money, y'all know.
This habit of begging online for money became part of Tismala's line of content. If he wasn't posting about eating food or different family stories he cooked up, he was practically begging for money for food.
Yo, somebody Apple Cash me $10 so I could smoke, so I could blow down. No cut. I mean,
occasionally he'd throw in a few cringe videos about his anime life. But this is far from creative, and it adds more layers of comedic material to his online persona. The constant begging is a bit more problematic. Due to this pattern, it's difficult to tell when he's being serious and when he's just fishing for sympathy and money. In his most recent version, Tismala claimed that he was molested and enslaved, and would like to sue his oppressors.
Alright, so basically, I just want to say, I want to sue these people to the ground, due to, how my childhood was.
His end goal with this video was most likely money, as usual, because right after that intro he talked about not having enough resources to secure a lawyer, and proceeded to inquire about how much he could make as compensation from such a case.
So how do I do what I want to do with no lawyer and with no money? Like, what could I really do? Like, how much money can I get out of these people?
And he also attested to this in the same video.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this money, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Help me go viral, so I can get answers, because
some people actually pulled through for him and sent him money. An example is a creator known as Cuffum. Cuffum is a streamer who rose to fame by live streaming content from the NBA 2K franchise and Fortnite on large platforms like Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. For some reason, Cuffum and Tismala have an online friendship, and Tismala always bragged about it.
Yeah, so I'm just letting y'all know that y'all can find me on Cuffum's stream once again. He FaceTimed me, we was speaking, and yeah, he shouted me out on his streaming platform.
And then came the day that Tismala revealed that Cuffum had sent him $300 on his birthday.
Man, I don't know how the audio came off, but anyway, Cuffum sent me $300. Y'all didn't want to see me with no burrito money. You know what I'm saying? So that happened. God did. I can't lose. I can't lose. You see what God do?
It's kind of hard to believe, but it was true. Cuffum himself confirmed it when Tismala switched up on him for not being responsive to his texts.
This is enough, my nigga. I don't even know you like that, gang. Look. Put something about this nigga, my hot. I even gave you birthday money. Happy late birthday, my hot. $300, gang. I'm here, you know what I'm saying? I be doing other shit, bro. I be busy, I be tired. Nigga, y'all, if you got my number, you know I don't be trying to ignore nobody on purpose.
Tismala's interpersonal relationships were nothing to write home about. He's manipulative and selfish, and would play the victim when others refused to do things his way. It wasn't until an interview with a YouTuber named Mr. Don't Touch that some semblance of context about his family finally emerged. Mr. Don't Touch That had driven out to meet Tismala in person, paid him directly, and sat with him for a genuinely candid conversation. For the first time, Tismala explained what had actually started everything. It began, he said, with a breakup. He was in love, and when she left, hit him like a wall. He shut down completely.
Grandmother crib, I was in the bed, I couldn't move type shit. It was like sleep paralysis.
From then on, he went deeper down memory lane and shared other important aspects of his family history. He described being in a car with his brother and his father, and in that car, his own father told him to die.
What happened was, I was in the car, me, my brother on quote, and my father on quote. So my father had told my brother to go bank or whatever.
Stick it up for him?
Yeah, and he had told me to die. That's when I got exactly what happened. That's when it started. Heartbreak, I couldn't move. When I went to the grandmother crib, I was in the bed, I couldn't move type shit. It was like sleep paralysis.
His father's harsh words, together with the heartbreak he suffered and then the isolation of COVID, all landed within the same window of time and made him numb to certain emotions. Tismala didn't have any structure, support system, and or way to process any of it. This was why he formed a villain story with his grandmother and mother.
I have nothing but disrespect for my grandmother, or Ivy White, that's her name. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but disrespect. I don't wish her the best. I don't wish her nothing.
It was also why his father's death didn't faze him. When someone came to his door to tell him that his father was likely dying and that he might want to go see him, Tismala's response was essentially dismissive. He just kept filming. People would even react more to their goldfish or plant dying. But Tismala didn't move a muscle when it came to his own father. In a subsequent video, he didn't grieve his father's death, but merely complained about his mother asking whether he was going to keep living in the house now that his father was gone.
If I'm gonna be staying at her house or if anything, as if I'm a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I play with anybody. Like I got time.
Perhaps he was so mentally numb that he couldn't bring himself to care about anyone in his family. You can relate to this depending on how much you believe Tismala himself is deserving of pity. Although it's no excuse for his future behavior, he went through a rough patch that he couldn't handle. There was no way he could deal with the heartbreak he felt in the post-pandemic year. But eventually, Tismala found a solution: food.
Every day we eat good Mexican food. Tismala.
Food did not reject him or tell him to die. Also, food did not leave. It was always available, always a DoorDash order away, always at the end of a Cash App request. It was the one consistent, reliable thing in a life where everything else had either abandoned him or been taken, but it soon turned into an addiction. What Tismala practices today is more of gluttony than eating for content. He eats anything and everything. When he's broke and can't afford to cook something, he'd eat raw butter or drink syrup.
Every day we eat good. Syrup. For me, I don't got no funds. So it's all good in the neighborhood.
He could make a pot of ramen.
Every day we eat good, ramen. Every day we eat good. We got some ramen. Tismala.
And one time devoured a cup filled with salted ice.
You ever been so hungry you ever had to throw salt on ice? Barbecue chicken.
He was so in love with the concept of eating that he practically followed a bunch of food stores on his Instagram. And to make matters worse, Tismala realized that eating could be monetized. He even admitted his intentions to blow up through this medium.
Because what it was, I was always fake posting on social media, doing funny videos and shit. That came to mind, but in the sense of me posting the food. I was like, damn, I could blow up by posting every day. It took me about 1.5 years or a year to blow up on TikTok, posting every day again.
This realization marked the beginning of a new journey for Tismala. It was the official start of Tismala Hood Legend on TikTok, where the majority of his fan base was situated. The first video Tismala posted on his current TikTok account, because there's reason to believe that he got banned in a previous one, was uploaded on the 14th of June, 2025. It showed him in a car with Tismala eating a meal from Raising Cane's. He started the video with his usual catchphrase, "Every day we eat good," and proceeded to load himself up on camera.
Every day we eat good. We got us Raising Cane's. Tenders for the first time.
Try with the sauce. Okay.
Whenever Terrell does these car videos, he pushes the steering wheel forward to make room for himself. Then he sits at a slight angle because he's just too wide to sit straight in the seat.
Every day we eat good. Hey, Fer. This is my mother damn speed. Every day we eat good.
After adjusting himself in his seat, he would eat while grunting, and this is always disturbing to watch long term. A man of Tismala's size would carry additional tissue around his throat that made breathing during any exertion, including eating, more laborious. The grunting sounds always seemed as if he was taking his last breath, and with the way he was going, he might actually do that one day. It's so bad that he has to use a CPAP machine to sleep. It's like an oxygen mask that helps with breathing problems. This confirms that his airway was already compromised enough to require mechanical assistance at night. However, there's a tiny detail to note about Tismala's labored breathing. One of his friends, in a since-deleted Twitch stream, argued that the sounds were partly deliberate. He claimed that Tismala made them specifically to generate sympathy donations, and that when this was pointed out to him directly, he smiled rather than denied it. It would make sense for Tismala to do that since he always wants sympathy from his audience. The wheezing and grunting are a constant factor in his videos. If he's really doing them deliberately, then he might have severe mental issues. If it's truly a medical concern, then it's only a matter of time before he self-detonates before our very eyes. Tismala was a food posting machine on TikTok. He could upload more than 4 videos a day, and they were all of him munching on high calories to no end. When he wasn't posting about food, he was begging for money to buy food, just as we discussed earlier on. There are times he would come online to say that someone sent him money and it wasn't enough. The physical consequences of the content were becoming visible in ways that went beyond just size. Tismala hopped online to describe a bathroom experience that sounded like a full medical emergency. In one video, he claimed that God had saved him because he nearly pooped his pants.
I'm not gonna lie, God has to be on my side because I nearly just pooed in my pants. You know what I'm saying? It has to be God.
And in the same breath, he explained in embarrassing detail how he always wiped himself after using the toilet.
How I wipe nowadays, because my butt is too big. So to get clean, I would have to lay down on the floor and lay down on my side, get the tissue, and wipe from the side while I'm laying on the floor.
Basic hygiene wasn't and still isn't Tismala's strongest suit. Apart from his oversized weight thanks to excess food, he appears dirty and unkempt in his videos. His skin always looks crusty and devoid of lotion and moisturizer. His hair never looks like a comb has been used on it, and you might see a booger in his nose if you're unlucky.
Yo, what's happening to my face? Like, love me.
So far, cleanliness for him is only limited to weed use. He has shared his distaste for sharing blunt, calling it dirty, but that's as far as the care for hygiene goes. There was a time he genuinely asked for skincare products he could use, but that was as far back as 2020. More than 5 years has passed since that post, and he still appears crusty as ever. He does seem to understand that there's a difference when he invests in self-care, as seen in posts where he glazes himself after getting a haircut and a clean shower.
Okay, where that beautiful man at? Hey, how you doing?
And he also knows that he has to move his body to stay fit. That's why he goes to the gym when he can physically afford to. But this self-awareness and bare minimum fitness journey still doesn't push him to commit to basic hygienic practices. Instead of using money to go for a haircut or buying skincare products, he'd splurge at the nearest Wendy's store and waste away on the internet. It's just really painful to look at, and it's more annoying that he was able to get over the 170,000 followers on the platform. It's not like they support him. They're just curious to see where the train Tismala is riding will lead him to. When will it end? Is there a turning point? These are what his followers are looking out for. But Tismala couldn't care less. Like he has always wanted, ever since he quit his job as a driver, going viral was the end point.
I'm gonna continue on my TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I got paid off TikTok. Continue on with my YouTube. And hopefully I'll make it somewhere.
In his head, he wasn't making a fool out of himself. He was simply eating and enjoying his life, and he was making money off it. A video with 9 million views could fetch him close to $500, and at this point, he had been living in a shelter for reasons we'll get into shortly.
TikTok, y'all know y'all owe me money. So you guys, today I want to talk about how I got 9 million views and I didn't get $9,000 from TikTok.
The benefits were there, but Tismala never maximized it or tried to sharpen his sense of self-respect. It really makes you wonder what goes on inside his head. There are times when Tismala rambles on his page about strange things. He talked about being God and being in space. One time he mentioned that he had seen a UFO in the projects.
Talking about aliens, and when I was in the projects gang growing up, I was by my window and I dead seen a UFO, gang. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was telling people on my block, you know what I'm saying, there was a black UFO right outside my window, y'all.
Maybe the blunt was affecting a few brain cells, who knows. But certain patterns remained unchanged throughout his TikTok journey. Tismala continued to push the enslavement topic. He has mentioned it quite a while in his account, and he still speaks his hood language, especially in an effort to riz women. And this brings us to one embarrassing Tismala moment caught on camera. While on a live stream, Tismala kept slinging obscene and explicit words at a young lady.
I'm just doing the Harlem Shake.
You can go be a bartender.
You know what I'm saying? It takes time, you heard?
You could go work out like a trampoline park.
This was his own way of trying to woo her. Instead, it just came off as a concerning and somewhat predatory encounter. Tismala himself is not the best man to deal with women. For the longest time, he has had a crush on American singer and rapper Ice Spice. On multiple occasions on Facebook, he has revealed his love for thick women. However, there are still instances where he has insulted women, calling them animals who deserve to be locked up.
Alright, so basically, I just want to say, I want to sue these people to the ground. Due to how my childhood was. So how do I do what I want to do with no lawyer and with no money? You know what I'm saying?
Tismala is an embodiment of contradiction. One minute he's saying one thing, and the next he's saying the opposite. Just like we had discussed earlier, he had mentioned being molested by his family when he was little.
How much money can I get out of these people? You know what I'm saying? For what happened to me. For being enslaved. RAPED.
But still on the same internet, Tismala has said that he wants to go to jail to get raped.
I'm ready to go to jail so I can spread my cheeks for somebody and dance for them and get annihilated for the rest of my life. To get a nuke raised in me, you know? Because I'm tired of this lifestyle.
Even after losing the initial video, he still reposted it on his Instagram account, proving that he truly meant what he said. Similarly, Tismala has voiced out intentions to go viral on social media and become rich.
Yo, I need somebody that know how to build. You know what I'm saying? Hit my line and we could build a franchise or something, you know? I'll give you the blueprint and you just build it and we make money from there. Tismala.
Yet in another video, he has expressed that he doesn't want to get rich.
At the end of the day, how I live my life, you feel me, should be so real that I don't even want to get rich, bro. Word of my dead, bro, I do not want to get rich, bro.
These contradictions could be signs of depression, which in turn could be the reason behind his ideations. It might be the reason why he always threw negative words around like a ping pong ball. It could also be the reason for this emotionally charged post he made on Facebook in 2023. If you can't give me a lethal injection, don't tell me you love me. And it could also be the driving force behind the word Tismala, which was a mantra brand name for him. Well, he had started with the word Wishmilla, which he posted a few times on Facebook in 2023. There was no explicit explanation for the meaning of the term. Tismala used it as a declaration of affirmation, similar to the word Amen, but then he framed it in insultive sentences, like in this case when he said, "Just put 2-liter bottle in my ass, Wishmalla," in response to someone who had expressed bitterness over the fact that their content was flagged while Tismala's wasn't. This kind of usage naturally diminishes the value of the term, but then again, Wishmilla isn't an actual term. But while Tismala never gave a concrete explanation for the word, he did make a few points about the one he uses now, Tismala. The first and most important of them was that it was a symbol for his faith, a sign of gratitude for living through God.
The reason I say Tismala is because I've been living through God all my life.
And Tismala also laid out the etymology of his brand name. Apparently, Tismala was coined from his own name, and another suffix he believed represented honor to God.
I came up with Tismala, you know what I'm saying? It starts with the letter T, which is my name. My name is Terrell, and the fact that I did it my way and through God, you know what I'm saying?
For him, it has many meanings, but the top one is positivity.
And it, the way you move that girl, you done got my heart, Tismala all in it. And I just wanna be with you tonight, Tismala.
He spoke a lot about death, saying that he had died and made peace with himself and was now living in thanks. According to his explanation, Tismala became a watchword for him after rebirth.
I died. I met my peace. About 8 months ago. See, but the reason why I made up Tismala is because I did it my own way. You know what I'm saying? And I died, and now here I am. You know what I'm saying? And I did it
through God.
Tismala spoke largely about how God had kept him through all his struggles. Half of his words didn't make sense, like the part where he mentioned dying 8 months ago, but it's clear that Tismala held a very impactful meaning for him. Tismala had his moments of depression, but the word helped him pull himself together. But how strong was the effect on him? Because for someone who believes he is backed by an incredible force, Tismala has consciously made a handful of life-altering choices, especially in his career. On TikTok, Tismala's trajectory shifted from guy who eats a lot to guy who the internet is actively talking about, and this led to one of his biggest, most disappointing moments on the internet. It was a collaboration that never happened, and a series of demands that no one in their right mind would meet. The first major collaboration disaster involved a creator named Meech2X, a streamer who had noticed Tismala gaining traction on TikTok, and reached out with the intention of having a collaboration.
Well. Tismala. Bro, I hit you up talking about AN. Let's collab, you feel me? I got a YouTube over 350,000, you know. You feel me? I'm gonna get you a little bit more exposure and shit like that, alright?
The first red flag before the deal could even fly was that Tismala dove into the issue of payment.
So I asked him, I'm like, bro, you want to do a collab, you feel me? Do a mukbang or something. You can see at the top, he like, we can. When you trying to do it? I say, you free next week. Out of nowhere, he say, nah, you gonna have to pay me for the day or something. Okay. Coming off a little bit aggressive, you get what I'm saying?
Meech was willing to drive to Tismala's location, was going to pay for 100% of the food, and make a mukbang video together. Mukbangs are videos where people just eat to entertain their audiences. So Meech offered so much for something that was bound to benefit both him and Tismala. He even added a cash payment of $150 on top of that for Tismala's time. The only thing Meech asked in return was some degree of genuine engagement and a willingness to make the content together. He was even going to spare him a transport fare by driving to Tismala's location.
So I'm just like, all right, fuck it. Nah, bro, I understand, LOL. I'm not just trying to take your day for free, but all right, boom. He say how much? I say 150, you feel me? Because I was going to pay for the food. I was going to pay for the buffet. I was going to pay for the mukbang. You know, I was going to be nice, and I was going to drive all the way up where bro lived.
Now, $150 might not sound like a fortune, but for Tismala, this was significant money. That's 15 of the $10 Cash App donations he regularly begged for. That's roughly 3 to 4 full seafood boils from the spots he was ordering from while homeless. That's more than 5 trips to his beloved Wendy's with change to spare. And all he had to do was show up, sit across from someone, and eat, which again, is something he does compulsively and involuntarily every single day of his life, regardless of whether anyone is paying him. Meech wasn't asking him to learn a trade. He wasn't asking him to operate heavy machinery or pass a background check. He was essentially offering to pay Tismala to be Tismala, and Tismala still found a way to blow it. After agreeing to the setup, all that was left was for the main event to take place. But then Meech reached out to check in on Tismala, not as a business partner, but as a human being, because he had noticed that Tismala's recent videos had been depressive at the time.
He just be talking about some sad shit. And I'd be like, you know, I got a good heart, so I'm like, all right, bro, like, you know, you good, bro? Like, you feel me? You need someone to talk to, you good? What? You can see up here, I'm like, bro, we gonna set it up, bro. We gonna set everything up. But honestly, how's your mental health? Like, for real, bro, if you need someone to talk to, I got you. Like, feel me? Just out of the kindness of my heart.
But instead of appreciating the effort, Tismala told Meech off, saying that he didn't want them to be friends.
You're gonna say, I'm not trying to be friends. Let's keep things business. Huh? Now I'm heated, cause, bro, what the fuck? I'm trying to...
What's more, he followed this up in a subsequent conversation by indicating that he expected additional payment beyond what had already been agreed upon, effectively moving the goalposts after the arrangement was in place. A stranger offered to feed him, pay him, drive to him, and check on his mental health, and Tismala sent back a thumbs up emoji and a reminder to keep things business. The second collaboration failure was even more financially terrible and chaotic. It involved a creator known as Sham NYC, who had been willing to cover Tismala's Uber fare for a round trip that cost over $500 so that they could meet up and film content together.
He don't have no V right now. This 930 something wrong with his bank. I'm like, I bet I'm gonna get you Uber there and I'm gonna get you Uber back. Mind you, the Uber is $250 there and $250 back. That's the time that I checked. Now, and that was at nighttime. Now, imagine with traffic, that would have been way more money. But I was down to pay it. You know what I'm saying? I already told all my niggas that we gonna do it.
$500 is not a casual expense. It can function as car payment. With that money, a family can afford a month's worth of groceries. That's the kind of money that, for someone who constantly begs online for money, should have felt like a lifeline being thrown directly at his face. Sham was willing to throw that amount at him for a collaboration. It was the equivalent of what Tismala reportedly made from that 9 million view TikTok video, and Sham used it to sponsor a trip. If Tismala were smart, he should have done everything in his power to try to maintain a strong connection and partnership with someone like this. But instead, he blew his chances. Not once, but twice. This first time, Tismala still told Sham that he would pay him $40 per hour for the stream.
Everything in with me. Last minute, I get a text from Text My Lot. He like, yo, bro, pay me for the time I'm there. I need $40 an hour. What the fuck? We did not talk about money. We didn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We didn't talk about none. Like, mind you, I'm paying like $500 for the Uber. I'm paying for the Eats. I'm paying for everything.
The funny part is that Sham already had it in mind to give Tismala an extra $200 at the end of their event, but the demand for payment by the hour, right after he had offered to cover his expensive Uber fee, was beyond unreasonable, and this threw him off.
I was gonna give this nigga 200. I'm not trying to say that on some bullshit. I was not gonna tell nobody about it. I was gonna swing it just for him being a good guy, just popping out, you feel me, just for the love, so he go do more mukbangs and all that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even know that, but I let him know on the call. You know what I'm saying? I had let Brody know. He was gonna get money regardless. The nigga fumbled over $60, bro.
But this wasn't the end of their encounter because they didn't end with bad blood. Sham still had Tismala in his corner and he was open to having another event together. It came rather sooner than later, and this time around, Tismala was the one who reached out to Sham for the collaboration.
Oh, you can eat buffet. We just gonna take this nigga to a fire buffet. You feel me? Everything paid for. Keep in mind, this hit me up to do the mukbang. I didn't hit him up. Why? Because I remember what he did to me last time. This time he hit me up. Yo, Sham, let's do the mukbang. You playing? Let's do it. He said, I'm in New York. Let's do it. I'm like, I bet.
But everything went downhill pretty quickly the second time. Just hours before the stream, Tismala did not show up, and his excuse was that the distance was a problem.
The day, like literally a couple hours before the stream, this Tismala come up with an excuse, right? We send this Addy to the mukbang place, the all-you-can-eat buffet. He said, yo, bro, I'm 2 hours away. How the fuck is Brooklyn 2 hours and 30 minutes away from Queens? So this nigga shot a lot, right?
Convinced that Tismala was trying to rip him off, Sham decided that they would take the buffet to him, instead of him driving down to meet them. But Tismala refused, because he was obviously lying about the distance.
Then the last minute, 2 hours before, this talk about some I'm good. Is this bipolar, bro? Like that ass. And this is what really threw me off.
The situation with the location eventually died down, but what happened next was the real shocker. When Tismala later rejoined the group chat, he demanded $4,000 for the collaboration.
After that situation, a couple days later on my life, this Tismala hit the group chat. He said, yo, I need $4,000 for a mukbang. Yo, Tismala. Yo, Tismala.
Sham responded online with disbelief, and the collaboration fell through.
With some I would never pay someone to ever be on my stream. That's just how I run my streams, bro. If you want to come on my stream, it's basically just off of genuine intent, bro. We both put each other, you want to come on the stream, that's what it is. I would never pay someone to come on my stream. Unless I'm like some mariachi niggas and I gotta pay them for their job. But like, another content creator, no. You know what I'm saying?
For a man who was begging for gas money on live streams, suddenly demanding $4,000 to eat a burger on camera was, as one creator put it, peak delusion. When Sham declined, Tismala went online and publicly shamed him.
After I said, fuck no, nobody paying you $4,000 ever to collab with Tismala and do a mukbang. I said, no one ever gonna do that. This gonna tell me you're broke. I responded, I told him, you're in a shelter. How are you calling me broke in this shelter?
And this is quite funny, because Tismala himself had also fumbled thousands of dollars in free meals and cash because he got greedy at the exact moment he should have said yes. Instead of acknowledging how bad a financial and professional a decision he was making, he continued to stand firm in his delusion.
Look, man, if you're trying to do a mukbang with me, make sure you could send me $4,000 for the mukbang. If not, don't talk to me. I don't want to do business with you. It's that simple.
The same pattern repeated itself in another encounter with yet another creator. T-Banks is a well-established content creator with a significant YouTube following, and he reached out to Tismala about a Discord segment. This was a relatively low-stakes, short-form collaboration that would have introduced Tismala to a new audience. T-Banks offered to pay for it, which he was not obligated to do, and which most creators in Tismala's position would have received gratefully. The offer was a few $100s for an hour of time. But what did Tismala do? He made a counteroffer of $14,000.
We were gonna pay you a couple $100s just to do a Discord segment, and the first thing you said is you need $14,000. The only $14,000 that you see daily is the amount of calories you consume. You lucky we didn't offer you honey buns and insulin shots.
Now that's a lot of money for someone to ask for when all they're required to do is eat and gain from the collaboration. $14,000 is 6 months of rent in a decent apartment in most mid-sized American cities. With that amount, you can get a used car with functioning air conditioning and a warranty. Also, that amount is roughly 1,400 McDonald's McDoubles, which, for Tismala specifically, should have been the most compelling unit of measurement. $14,000 is more than what the average American worker earns in 3 months of full-time employment, and Tismala wanted all of it just to eat on camera for an hour. This is the exact same thing he does every single day for free because he cannot stop himself. During the Discord call between them that was streamed, Tismala defended his actions, saying that he was worth it.
I offered you $300 an hour, and that was just to come on Discord. Hey, bro, I'm worth something, you know what I'm saying? 100%, I believe we all know our worth, but you talking about 14?
Mind you, this is someone who constantly begs people to send him as low as $10 for a meal. If he couldn't afford to eat more than he already does, how can he convince people that he's worth close to $15,000? This is what baffled T-Banks the most, and he reacted to the escalating issue on stream. T-Banks was baffled and in outright disbelief. He fired back at Tismala's statement asking him to name a creator he had charged that outrageous amount, and guess what? Tismala had no one to name.
Who have you charged 14,000 and they actually paid that. Name one person that paid you 14,000.
You're not hearing me though.
I can't hear you because there's boogers in your nose. Blow your nose and talk.
As if that was not embarrassing enough, Tismala proceeded to call T. Banks broke, only for the power in his room to give out.
One damn bad credit that will ever pay you 14,000. You could have.
So we can't do.
Okay, we can't
do with broke people.
They just turned your lights off. I know you didn't do that yourself. How am I broke? You have your lights on and off.
He also brought up the fact that Tismala had previously appeared on another creator's stream, a creator named Ty, and he had done this for free.
Tismala, when you went to Ty Leo crib and he offered you 3 hot dogs and a packet of cheese, you didn't tell him to offer you 14,000. You thought you was going to get a free Vivette hoodie from Castanet signed. When you went on there, you was struggling to breathe. When you was over this crib, you didn't tell him to offer you half a $30,000 pack. When you sit right there and said, man, eat this hot dog on stream, big boy, you sat right there and swallowed it down.
All he did was eat the hot dogs that Ty had offered him without making any financial demands. So why was he demanding $14,000 when he had to eat with benefits this time around? When this was raised directly with Tismala during a call that was streamed, Tismala's response was to say that Ty and T. Banks were not the same person, which was true but not really the point anyone was making. And T. Banks made sure to sound that sentiment across.
You went to Ty Leo crib. Did he pay you?
Yeah, hey, you not Ty Leo though, gang.
And who are you?
I'm Tismala Hood Legend, motherfucker.
Tismala Hood Legend. You three burgers away from your heart collapsing. What are you talking about right now?
The situation with T. Banks was particularly damaging because of how Tismala handled it afterwards. Instead of quietly letting the negotiation fail, he screen recorded his DMs with T. Banks and posted them to TikTok, framing T. Banks as a weirdo who had somehow wronged him by not meeting his price.
T. Banks, you feel me, he wanted to do a stream with me, but who he think he is when he want to do something and he's not gonna pay for it? It's giving weirdo energy, gang. I offered the I was feeling generous, so I told him, give me a band when I'm worth 14 bands for.
This had the effect of directing his follower base toward the situation, which in turn prompted T. Banks to address it on stream at length.
You could give me a rap. Where are you based? I'm in BK. I'm assuming Brooklyn. Hood Legend. A band too much. I can do 200 for a Discord segment where we rate viewers much. The truth is, I'm worth 14K for a stream. How we gonna benefit off each other? How much you want for a Discord segment, Tismala? The fact I have to give you the benefit of the doubt because you guys are lousy. 14K. You drive a hard bargain, Tismala.
From this point, Tismala's side of the story never stood a chance. Clips of T. Banks' stream circulated widely, and this resulted in a wave of negative attention landing on Tismala from people who previously had no opinion of him one way or the other. His comment sections filled up with people pointing out that his demands were unreasonable. Some dragged up a clip of him acting obscenely with a minor.
Are you really 16 years old?
Yes.
EDP doesn't care.
What the Tismala, you gotta chill. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Nah. This is getting a little too far, Tismala, with this EDP. Tismala, you're literally, you already pretty much look like him. You're already a variant, man. Now you're starting to confirm this shit. Not funny, man.
Not only that, but netizens also shared other damaging footage of Tismala, like one that had exposed him for sending explicit content in a Discord server with Sham that included minors.
Yo, Tez. Yo, bro, why you send the video you speaking in my comm, game?
Tismala.
No. You can't Tismala out of this, bro. What is mad kids in this? No, bro.
Tismala consistently overestimated his leverage and underestimated how much the people he was dealing with were offering him. Then in cases where he could have seized golden opportunities by securing long-term partnerships and establishing genuine human connections, he responded by steering the conversation back to money.
I seen you try to charge T. Banks 14K for a collab, so it made me think, like, damn, if he's charging him and he's bigger than me for a collab, how much he gonna charge me? Is he ever gonna me?
Yo, I'm saying though, because that's how much it costs, gang.
He had worked with bigger creators like DDG, and the group involved in an eating event with Cooking with Kaya had featured in their streams.
Talking to my Tismalanians. That's about it. I'm playing games and stuff, watching people stream, because I am a supporter.
I like him, chat. I like him.
Me too.
Let's give him a chance.
Yeah.
But after these meetings, they moved on from him as the novelty wore off, and rather than using his head to grow with others, he continued to demand money he was not going to get, burn relationships he could not afford to lose, and interpret every failed collaboration as evidence that other people were the problem.
For all the people that didn't want to pay me what I'm worth for my collabs, it says a lot about yourself. I'm not gonna cap. It shows you that you're not a man.
Everything that had been building across a year and a half of daily content eventually came to a head in the same place that it had always been heading: his living situation and food. Tismala had been living with his brother Anthony in Waterbury, Connecticut, and Anthony eventually reached his limit. He got sick and tired of the non-stop food deliveries, Tismala's dirtiness, his refusal to change, and the endless cycle of eating and sleeping and eating again. So Anthony changed the locks and removed the door handle on the front door specifically to stop Tismala from going out for more food. And Tismala responded to this by posting a video.
So the weirdo named Anthony Earl, my so-called brother, He took off the handle on the front door. So I went through the back door to get some food. What he's implying is as if he's trying to keep me in a dungeon. As if he won't get murdered in here.
Afterwards, he eventually left the house, but it's possible that his brother Anthony actually kicked him out. With nowhere to go, Tismala spent his first day of homelessness inside a McDonald's, then migrated to a Subway.
Yeah, so I just had to spend $10 on the Wi-Fi outside for unlimited Wi-Fi. I mean, as y'all can see, I'm at McDonald's. Come holler at me if you got something for me. If not, get away.
He spent most nights sleeping in his car while eating and streaming as usual.
Every day we eat good. I got some Wendy's, White Castle. Couldn't sleep. Well, I'm about to, but...
When the Subway staff unplugged the outlet he had been using to charge his phone, the situation went nuclear. With no other alternative to turn to, Tismala decided to involve the police.
They took out the outlet in Subway so I could charge my phone. That's getting too typical. I'm about to call the police and handle the situation, you know what I'm saying?
Tismala did call the police, but he made a very bizarre report. He falsely confessed to a homicide. He told the dispatcher that he had murdered his own father, Gary Earl, who had died of a heart attack well before this moment.
So I just called in the cops for the homicide of Gary Earl. Let them know that I did it. Tismala, yeah.
He believed the way out of his situation of homelessness was somewhere he could be given a bed and a roof over his head, and this place was none other than jail. So, Tismala put his hopes on the cops taking him to the place he dreamed was his next accommodation. However, it didn't play out the way he intended. The police arrived, assessed the situation, and transported him to a psychiatric facility rather than arresting him. That same night, from inside the facility, he posted a TikTok of himself gloating because he had secured a bed for the night.
So y'all know who I am. Clap that case. I go in the shelter tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Tismala, I'll be there. I'll be there.
He was discharged the next morning and made a beeline straight for McDonald's while live streaming. The restaurant eventually called the police after he caused enough of a disturbance, and he crashed out on the officers on camera.
They put me in the hospital. I can have a home. You don't want me to have a home. It's not that I don't want. That's possession, man. So if somebody ready to die, you know what I'm saying? McDonald's don't want to sponsor me. They want to sponsor other people that do food videos. What's wrong?
He was transported to a second psychiatric facility, which connected him with a social worker who helped place him in a homeless shelter. Tismala's first move upon entering the shelter was to use his remaining Cash App money to DoorDash a massive seafood boil directly to the shelter address.
Every day we eat good seafood boil. Tismala.
And he continued to post his regular food content without a hitch.
Every day we eat good. Tismala got the big arch.
However, his new lifestyle came with heavy complaints. Tismala always had something to say or react to within and outside the facility. He complained that the shelter was dirty because of a single bug, which is rich coming from someone as unhygienic as him. And he also complained about the food because it was too healthy for him.
Man, put more beef in this, man. The hell?
Later on, he was confronted by a shelter resident who threatened to take his food and mocked by other residents for not having a job. He was reportedly on camera crying because the shelter would not give him an extra breakfast portion, and then, eventually, he was kicked out of the shelter for stealing and eating other residents' food. By the time the shelter chapter had played out, the story of Tismala Hood legend had moved into territory that most of the commentary creators who had covered him were not entirely prepared for. The jokes stopped being funny at a certain point, and what replaced them was something closer to genuine alarm.
He wants to help himself. We are watching this huge man lose his life every day, slowly. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying is, I'm not a fan of what he said and what he's done, bro. That act of gluttony, I'm not gonna respect it, but it's crazy and funny to see it because there's no way I would live my life like that.
Tismala posted videos describing his body giving out on him in ways that were no longer abstract. His legs, he said, were no longer strong enough to hold his weight.
I can't walk, so
I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I can't walk.
The funny part is that there might be people who are willing to help his situation, but how can you help someone who isn't willing to help themselves? How can you even help someone who is only drawn to money and nothing else? When a creator named Tylil asked Tismala why he never stopped eating so much, Tismala didn't say the obvious, which was that he needed actual help in areas related to his mental and physical health. He just straight up asked for an apartment.
What is stopping y'all from losing weight? Because y'all eat too much?
I just need my apartment. Apartment
Apartment not gonna stop you from eating?
Yeah, it is, because it's all about timing for me.
His habit of begging has gotten to the point where people are genuinely concerned that the internet has been enabling this self-destruction online.
Bro, Tismala needs actual help. Like, yeah, it's funny seeing him flop around and beg for food, but when you really think about it from his point of view, the dude is literally at the lowest level of life right now. He's begging for food on live, bro.
Tismala is suffering from a severe case of delusion. He's of the notion that he's famous, and that's why he can botch his own collaborations, all in the name of knowing his worth.
Tismala. So I just realized today that I'm famous, because I'm actually famous. I don't feel the clout. How does it feel?
Niggas look up to you, cool?
Oh, word?
If I take you outside right now, oh Lord Jesus.
Oh, word?
You make niggas laugh and giggle, no freaky.
It's the sense of delusion that can also explain why he thought requesting an apartment was a sensible answer to a question about his health. But the truth is, Tismala is only a source of mockery and entertainment to a lot of people on the internet. He could be in a live stream with people, and all they would do is make jest of him.
It didn't work.
Would you like
It
to
didn't
unmute
work.
and say something before
It
you
didn't
leave?
work.
Nobody perfect. I knew this was gonna happen.
His lack of self-awareness is of a dangerous kind because it makes him go viral, not for cool or creative reasons, but for embarrassing ones.
Wait, here's a 3-piece chicken. Oh. I don't know if y'all heard that one.